Beneath layers of stone, compressed by time and hidden for hundreds of millions of years, lie the remains of plants that once dominated the earth. Some were delicate fronds, pressed into shale. Others were seeds preserved with astonishing detail. A few reveal structures so unusual that they challenge everything familiar about the foods and plants known today. These were the ancient foods buried in stone, long before agriculture, before orchards and grain fields, and before any human hand touched the soil with intention. Earth produced an extraordinary diversity of plant life. Some developed seeds rich in stored nutrients. Others evolved fleshy tissues, protective husks, and underground organs designed to support survival and reproduction. They were not crops, and they were never cultivated. Yet they formed the deep evolutionary foundation from which all modern fruits, grains, and vegetables ultimately emerged. No one will ever know exactly how these ancient plants tasted. Their flavors vanished with them. Their textures are left to speculation. Their nutritional value can only be inferred from structure and comparison. But the fossil record preserves enough to reveal that Earth once hosted a botanical world far more diverse than the one inherited by humanity. To understand these buried foods, it is necessary to travel back to a time when life on land was still in its early stages. More than 470 million years ago, the first plants began colonizing the continents. These pioneers were small, simple organisms related to modern mosses and liverworts. They lacked seeds, flowers, and fruits. Reproduction depended on spores, tiny, resilient structures carried by wind and water. The land they entered was barren and unforgiving. Soils were poorly developed. Ultraviolet radiation was stronger. Conditions fluctuated dramatically. Yet plants persisted. Over tens of millions of years, they transformed the surface of the planet. Their roots stabilized sediments. Their tissues contributed organic matter to emerging soils. Their presence altered atmospheric chemistry and influenced the global carbon cycle. Then came one of the most important innovations in the history of life, the seed. By the late Devonian period, more than 360 million years ago, certain plants evolved a new reproductive strategy. Instead of releasing vulnerable spores that required moisture to complete development, they enclosed the embryo within a protective package containing stored nutrients. This was a profound evolutionary advantage. Seeds could remain dormant during unfavorable conditions. They could be transported over greater distances. They carried enough energy to support early growth. In a sense, they were compact survival capsules. Some of the earliest seed plants belonged to groups that no longer exist. Their leaves often resembled ferns, but their reproduction was entirely different. These were the seed ferns, known scientifically as pteridosperms. Seed ferns flourished during the Carboniferous and Permian periods. Their fossils are among the most important clues to Earth's forgotten botanical history. Broad fronds spread over swampy ground. Attached to these leaves were seeds protected by cup-like tissues. In some species, the outer structures may have contained nutrient-rich material, perhaps attracting animals that helped disperse them. These were not fruits in the modern sense, but they performed similar functions. For millions of years, seed ferns were among the dominant plants on Earth. Then they disappeared. Climate shifts, ecological competition, and mass extinction events gradually erased them from the planet. Their remains now rest in coal-bearing rocks and sedimentary deposits across the world. During the Carboniferous period, from roughly 359 to 299 million years ago, Earth was covered by vast tropical wetlands. Towering relatives of club mosses, such as lepidodendron, reached heights of more than 30 meters. Giant horsetails formed dense thickets. Tree ferns spread beneath a humid canopy. The atmosphere contained more oxygen than today, and decomposition was often slow in waterlogged soils. Plant matter accumulated in thick layers that would eventually become coal. These swamp forests were biological engines, storing solar energy in living tissue and burying it underground. Within this world, seeds represented concentrated packets of nutrients. To ancient animals, they would have been valuable food resources. To paleobotanists, they are fossils that reveal how plants were beginning to experiment with structures that foreshadowed modern foods. As the Carboniferous gave way to the Permian period, Earth's continents merged into the supercontinent Pangaea. Interior regions became more seasonal and, in many areas, drier. The swamp forests contracted. Plant communities changed. Conifers, cycads, ginkgo relatives, and other seed plants diversified. Cycads were particularly remarkable. Their stout trunks and crown-like leaves gave them a palm-like appearance. Although they are not closely related to palms, they produced large cones, containing seeds often surrounded by brightly colored outer tissues. Modern cycads still exist, and their seeds can be rich in starch. However, they also contain toxins that require specialized processing. Extinct cycads may have possessed an even wider range of chemical compounds, some potentially nutritious, others highly defensive. Their fossilized cones and seeds hint at reproductive structures, unlike anything commonly cultivated today. Around 252 million years ago, Earth experienced experienced the most severe mass extinction in its history. The Permian-Triassic extinction eliminated the majority of marine species and profoundly disrupted life on land. Volcanic eruptions, greenhouse warming, ocean chemistry changes, and ecosystem collapse combined to create a global crisis. Many plant lineages disappeared, others survived and adapted to a transformed world. The Triassic period that followed saw the rise of new seed plant groups, including conifers, cycads, ginkgophytes, and an enigmatic lineage known as bennettitaleans. Bennettitaleans are among the most intriguing plants preserved in the fossil record. They resembled cycads but produced complex, reproductive structures that in some cases superficially resembled flowers. These structures enclose seeds within layered tissues that may have attracted insects or vertebrates. Some researchers believe bennettitaleans illustrate how evolution repeatedly experimented with flower-like forms before true flowers appeared. For more than 100 million years, they were widespread. Then they vanished, leaving no living descendants. Their biology survives only in stone. During the Jurassic period, the Earth became a world of immense forests. Conifers towered overhead. Cycads and bennettitaleans filled the understory. Ferns and horsetails covered the ground. Dinosaurs moved through these ecosystems, feeding directly or indirectly on plant productivity. The plants themselves produced seeds, cones, and nutrient-rich tissues that sustained insects, reptiles, and early mammals. Some may have been highly nutritious, others may have been bitter or toxic, because many modern cycads contain compounds harmful to the nervous system and liver. Ancient relatives likely relied on equally sophisticated chemical defenses. The foods of prehistoric Earth were products of evolutionary strategy, not culinary appeal. Then, during the early Cretaceous period, a revolutionary new group appeared: flowering plants. Angiosperms transformed the history of life on land. Unlike earlier seed plants, they enclosed their seeds within ovaries that matured into fruits. This innovation protected developing seeds and encouraged partnerships with animals. Early angiosperms were modest in appearance. Their flowers were often small. Their fruits were simple and likely tough, dry, or chemically complex, but their flexibility was extraordinary. They diversified rapidly, producing an astonishing range of reproductive forms. Some of the earliest known fossil flowers and fruits show combinations of traits unlike those of any modern species. These plants were evolutionary experiments, many of which did not survive. Others became the ancestors of nearly every fruit and vegetable known today. As flowering plants spread, ecosystems changed. Insects co-evolved with flowers. Birds and mammals consumed fruits. Seed dispersal networks became increasingly sophisticated. Colors, scents, textures, and nutrient compositions diversified. The botanical world grew richer and more intricate, yet extinction continued to prune the tree of life. Entire lineages disappeared even as others flourished. Around 66 million years ago, another catastrophe reshaped the planet. An asteroid impact at the end of the Cretaceous triggered global fires, atmospheric dust, and a sharp reduction in sunlight. Photosynthesis declined dramatically. Food webs collapsed. Many plant species vanished alongside the non-avian dinosaurs. Pollen records and fossil leaves reveal abrupt shifts in vegetation. Some forests were replaced temporarily by fern-dominated landscapes, as spores allowed rapid colonization of devastated environments. Eventually, surviving flowering plants diversified into the ecosystems familiar today, but the world that emerged was only a fragment of what had existed before. The fruits and vegetables now cultivated by humans descend from lineages that survived repeated episodes of environmental upheaval. They are the winners of a long and contingent evolutionary process. The fossil record suggests that countless other possibilities once existed. Paleobotanists recover this history from leaves, wood, pollen grains, seeds, and reproductive organs preserved in sedimentary rocks. Under microscopes, cell patterns and tissue organization reveal how extinct plants developed and functioned. Some fossils preserve structures in such detail that vascular tissues and seed coverings can be studied, almost as if they were recent specimens. Yet much remains unknown. Chemistry is difficult to reconstruct. Flavor is inaccessible. Texture can only be estimated. The ancient foods buried in stone remain tantalizingly incomplete. Still, they tell an extraordinary story. They show that modern agriculture rests on a narrow subset of Earth's botanical potential. Thousands of edible plant species exist today, yet only a few dozen dominate global food production. The deeper fossil record implies that the range of plant forms and possible food structures was once far greater. Some extinct plants may have produced nutrient-rich seeds unlike any modern grain. Others may have developed fleshy tissues with unique chemical properties. Some could have contained compounds of medicinal value. Others may have been too toxic for most organisms. Their disappearance closed evolutionary paths that will never be reopened. This perspective changes how agriculture is understood. Civilization depends not only on human innovation, but also on survival through deep time. Wheat, rice, maize, potatoes, and fruit trees exist because their ancestors endured continental drift, climate change, and mass extinctions. Had history unfolded differently, the crops sustaining modern societies might be entirely different, or some of the most useful plants may have vanished before humans ever appeared. The ancient foods buried in stone are reminders of lost possibilities. They represent successful organisms that thrived for millions of years and then disappeared as conditions changed. They were neither primitive failures nor incomplete versions of modern plants. They were products of their own environments, exquisitely adapted to worlds unlike the present. Their extinction reflects the impermanence of life on Earth. Entire ecosystems can flourish, dominate the planet, and vanish, leaving only scattered impressions and mineralized fragments. Yet these fragments are enough to reveal the astonishing creativity of evolution. Every seed contains a history. Every fruit reflects a lineage shaped by countless ancestral forms, many now extinct. Every crop is connected to a deep botanical past filled with experiments, successes, and losses. When a fossil seed is split from stone, it offers a rare glimpse into that hidden history. It preserves a moment when an ancient plant invested energy into the future, enclosing nutrients around an embryo that would never germinate again. The parent plant is gone. Its ecosystem has vanished. The climate that shaped it no longer exists, but the structure remains, silent, compressed, waiting to be interpreted. In that sense, the ancient foods buried in stone are more than fossils. They are messages from vanished worlds. They reveal that Earth once nourished ecosystems with plants, unlike anything now growing. They suggest that modern agriculture represents only one surviving branch of a much larger story, and they remind us that beneath every field and every orchard lies a deeper history, one written over hundreds of millions of years, in which countless botanical possibilities arose, flourished, and disappeared. The foods known today are survivors. The rest remain buried in stone.